مرحبا زين الشهور يا مرحبا يا مرحبا زين الشهور.
الحمد لله رب العالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ولي الصالحين أما بعد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We begin by looking at verse number 19 from Surah Ashura, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allahu latifum bi ibadi yarzuqu man yasha wa huwa al-qawiyyul aziz. Allah is kind to His servants and He grants sustenance to whoever He wishes, and He is all powerful and He is the mighty one. So sustenance comes from Allah, and He has taken it upon Himself to take care of our sustenance. We know that as human beings we need sustenance in this world to survive. And Allah says, I've taken it upon myself. وَمَا مِن دَابَّةٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ إِلَّا عَلَى اللَّهِ رِزْقُهَا وَيَعْلَمُ مُسْتَقَرَّهَا وَمُسْتَوْدَعَهَا. Allah says, for the entire creation, I've taken the sustenance upon myself. And I've provided different types of food for you. فَلْيَنظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ إِلَىٰ طَعَامِهِ أَنَّا صَبَبْنَا الْمَاءَ صَبًّا ثُمَّ شَقَقْنَا الْأَرْضَ شَقًّا فَأَنبَتْنَا فِيهَا حَبًّا وَعِنَبًا وَقَضْبًا وَزَيْتُونًا وَنَخْلًا وَحَدَائِقَ غُلْبًا وَفَاكِهَةً وَأَبًّا مَتَاعًا لَكُمْ وَلِأَنْعَامِكُمْ. Allah says, look at the system I put in place. I send the rain down from the top. I split the earth open for that leaf to come through. Then what do you have? You have grain, you have wheat, you have dates, you have grapes, you have olives, vegetation, dense foliage, fodder for your animals. Who has granted you all of this? مَتَاعًا لَكُمْ وَلِأَنْعَامِكُمْ, for you to take benefit and your animals. So Allah provides for us our sustenance in that sense. However, as human beings, we are not only a body, but we are soul and a body together. So like how we need sustenance for the body, we need sustenance for the soul. And therefore the ulama say that Allah is also taking it upon Himself to provide for us that sustenance for the soul. يُرَبِّيهِمْ بِأَصْنَافِ الْبِرِّ. Allah makes our tarbiyah with different types of goodness. And it's for that reason that we've been granted the month of Ramadan as a means of spiritual nourishment for our bodies. And we need to be drawing spiritual nourishment in these days, and especially these last days, so that we are better people in Ramadan to be better people out of the month of Ramadan. These are the moments that we need to treasure, because Allah says, مَنْ كَانَ يُرِيدُ حَرْثَ الْآخِرَةِ نَزِدْ لَهُ فِي حَرْثِهِ. Whoever wants the harvest of the akhirat, then we will increase him. Now Allah refers to the rewards of the akhirat as a harvest. When do you have a harvest? When you first planted seeds, and the seeds were watered, and it was looked after, and eventually it reached that stage where it is now cut down. Then you only get harvest. So similarly, if we want the harvest of the akhirah, then we need to plant the seeds in this world now. And if you do that, Allah says, نَزِدْ لَهُ فِي حَرْثِهِ, we will increase you in your harvest. نُؤْتِي بِالْوَاحِدِ 700. For one good deed, will give you up to 700-fold reward. However, وَمَنْ كَانَ يُرِيدُ حَرْثَ الدُّنْيَا, but if all that you want is the harvest of this world, that's all that you want, نُؤْتِيهِ مِنْهَا, Allah says, we'll give it to you in this world. وَمَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ نَصِيبٍ. But then, don't expect anything in the akhirah. Don't expect anything in the akhirah. If all that you wanted was this world, then you'll get it in this world, and there'll be nothing for you in the akhirah. With regard to this verse, number 19 of Surah Ashura, Allahu latifum bi ibadi yarzuqu man yasha, it is written in the Mariful Quraan, whoever recites it 70 times in the morning, every day, will definitely receive an increase in their sustenance. We are living in times that we all need that increase. It is very difficult times, tough economic times. If you read it 70 times daily, Allah will grant you that increase in sustenance. It's a formula that is tried and tested. We move on to Surah Zukhruf, in which Allah says that ولولا أن يكون الناس أمة واحدة لجعلنا لمن يكفر بالرحمن لبيوتهم سقفا من فضة ومعارج عليها يظهرون ولبيوتهم أبوابا وسررا عليها يتكئون وزخرفا. Some people have this false idea that if I become a disbeliever, I'll have more wealth in this world. Because I'm a believer, I have to suffer. Allah says that's not the case. Wealth is not the criteria of who's beloved to me and who's not. Allah says, I would have given the kuffar so much that they would have had homes with roofs of silver, with elevators, with doors of silver, with couches and various items of luxury to recline on, and then gold ornaments. I would have given them all this. My only fear is that perhaps everyone then would become disbelievers because they think that if they disbelieve, they'll get the wealth. That the fact of the matter is that wealth or no wealth is no criteria whether you're beloved to me or anything like that. In fact, this world has no value in my eye. And therefore, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, لَوْ كَانَتِ الدُّنْيَا تَعْدِلُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ جَنَاحَ بَعُوضَةٍ مَا سَقَى مِنْهَا كَافِرٌ شَرْبَةَ مَاءٍ. If this world had the value of the wing of a mosquito, Allah would not have given the kuffar not even one sip of water to drink. We're always wondering that, the Western powers, the superpowers of this world, why is it that they continue to flourish? And why is it that they continue to dominate and control our lands, the Muslim countries, and plunder our resources? The fact is that this world has no value by Allah. And therefore He gives it to His enemies and He gives it to His friends. But the akhirat, that is the criterion. The akhirat is only for the friends of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then in Surah Al-Jathiyah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about the nafs, temptation and desire. And He says, أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَى. That you tell me about the person who has made his own nafs his deity. When we submit and obey anyone or anything while disobeying Allah, then it is as though we are worshipping that. So if we obey our nafs while disobeying Allah, then we are worshipping our nafs. Allah has placed within every human being the inclination towards good and the attraction towards evil. And everyone has this. فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. That we have the tendency towards evil and the inclination towards good. Now whatever we make effort on, that is what will flourish. Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu said, put your one foot on your nafs and your next foot in Jannah. One foot on the nafs and the other foot in Jannah. The nafs calls us towards enjoyment immediately, whether it is in haram, in the form of zina, in the form of the evils of the tongue, in the forms of vindicating our anger or displaying malice and hatred, or in usurping and plundering the rights of others. These are all the temptations of the world. And when we can control this, that is when we will become the true servants of Allah. Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu was on the battlefield and he was having a duel with a Yahudi, and he managed to get the upper hand, and now he's on top of him. And at that moment, the Yahudi spits at him in his face. Thinking that his last moments, let me just have one small bit of revenge before he takes my life. As he spits at him, Ali then goes back immediately. And he stands back and he says, let's start the duel again. The Yahudi asks, but you had the opportunity to kill me. Why did you hold back? He says that at that time when you spat in my face, there was a bit of anger that had come in me. If I killed you at that time, it may have been that I killed you because of my anger, and I didn't want that to be the case. Therefore I started again, that when I want to kill you, it must be only for the sake of Allah. Only for the sake of Allah. There must be no mixture in my intention. So that is the reality with regards to our nafs, that we need to be able to control it at that moment of temptation. And sometimes it is a moment of temptation that we succumb to. We give in to the nafs, and it is our entire lives are destroyed. Just try the one drug, and you try it once and you're hooked. That moment where you give in a haram relationship, and the consequences is your entire life has been destroyed. So we need to continuously reflect on the consequences of fulfilling the nafs. That if I continue to fulfill my nafs all the time, what will be my end result? Let me think about it. I'll be destroyed. And on the other hand, even if you decide that I want to fulfill every desire of my nafs, you won't be able to do it. Because this world is not a place where you have everything at your control. There are forces beyond your control. So it is pointless trying to go out and fulfill every desire of the nafs. It is for us to learn to control our nafs and to subjugate it to the commandments of Allah. And we end off with the dua of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in which he said, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min qalbin la takhsha' wa min nafsin la tashba' wa min ilmin la tanfa' wa min du'ain la yastajab. Oh Allah, I seek protection from a heart that does not cry out of your fear, and from a nafs that is never satisfied, and from ill knowledge that is of no benefit, and from a dua that is not accepted by you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from these things. Wa sallallahu ta'ala ala khayri khalqi Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.